Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
Hey, welcome to Unanimous Corner, bringing you another episode of Unanimous Decision. And today, who we talking to, Bill?
Hey, you heard what he said, Unanimous Decision. You guys know what that is. That's our exclusive interview series. And today, this guy, he's hailing out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's a part of the supergroup Rude Boys that brought to you one of the biggest R&B songs of all time, written all over your face. Today, we have Joe Little III, lead singer of the Rude Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, here we go. Introducing none other. We got Joe Little III. How you doing, sir?
Me, what's up?
Glad to have you, Joe.
Back.
Yeah, back.
Yeah.
So,
Because of Barry's ass.
you know what? I can't do that. Man.
No, it's all love here. So I'll kind of explain to the folks inside joke. But Joe, we had this interview in the bag a couple weeks ago, and I know we had some of the best audio out there, and I didn't press record. Joe could have and we were talking because we were very comfortable, and Joe could have easily been like, "Nah, man, I'm not coming back." And I think he appreciated the conversation, dropped a lot of jewels, but he came back, so that kind of show you he's a real one. Yeah, and we're gonna try to capture some of the information that we left off. But knowing Joe, one thing that I could say to kind of preface this interview, he don't hold back, and he allows us to be a fly on the wall with his career. And he tells us everything. So the unadulterated truth and nothing but the truth. So we ready.
Yep. And I tell you, man, he said words to me because I called when we noticed that it was a recording. I just put my head down, and he said 4 words, and it resonated with me. He said, "Pick your head up." It's all right.
Yeah, man.
He said, "Pick your head up." And then I texted him a few days after that. And I was just so down. Like, Joe, I couldn't sleep that night. I called Barry. I was up the whole night. I felt like we just ruined everything. He's like, no, we're good. We're just going to make it better for the next time. So,
real.
Hey, my dog, he is a real one. He is a real one.
And look, man, I get up every day being me. And it's going to be even better. So let's roll.
Let's roll. Let's go. All right, so starting from the beginning, Joe, what was the earliest memory that you have of when you knew you could sing?
Man, definitely when I was like about 4 years old, man. I just had a great affection for music, man. I could feel it inside, and just, you know, as I began to get older, by about 5 or 6, it was like I was all the way in. You know, I would sing as a child, and people's eyes would just light up, and I'd be like, "Hey, whoa, hey, what?" They like it, and I feel good about it. So early in the game, bro, before I even sung in front of people, like in a choir or in situation, just singing at home with my mom, just knew that I had it. It was magical. It was a magical feeling inside. So, you know, that's why I say when a lot of children or young people know they could do something, if you feel something inside, you go for it. Don't dispute it. You know, your intuitions and that inside is real, you know? Yeah.
I mean, singing around the house or that's for fun, you know, you obviously get to a point where it's professional. So obviously people know somewhat of the story about you getting discovered by Gerald Levert and the Rude Boys. How do you go from a hobby to getting discovered by Gerald Levert?
Disrespectful to call it a hobby. No, I'm just playing. But no, I never considered singing as a hobby. I always knew that it was what I wanted to do. Music, right? All that. It was for real. If a kid go to play football, you take your child to play football and put them in the the little muni league, Pop Warner, or, playing basketball. This is what I wanted to do. And so I was preparing. I knew that there was preparation that must be done in order for me to be great someday. And that's what I wanted. by the age of 8 or 9, I was telling people that, you know, when I grow up, I'm gonna win awards and I'm gonna have big songs. And by the time that I was like about like 14, I was like, I'm gonna have hit records and one day, and that I'm gonna win some awards one day. So it's always been something that I strived for, that I wanted to sing in front of people. At home practicing as a kid, I wanted to go places and do it. So, you know, my mom, you know, told me like, hey man, if you this what you want to do, you got to practice. She taught me how to use the stereo and put on the records and all that. And I began to do so, you know, so yeah, that part. So it's all, I've always been really serious about my craft.
So you kind of were already, like you said, it's you were getting reps in the gym to where you ultimately knew your trajectory. So by the time, you know, you're in the presence of a Gerald Levert, it's almost it's nothing really, because it's an expectation at that point. So that first meeting with Gerald Levert, what was that like?
By the time I did meet Gerald Levert, I was well grown. I've been winning talent shows all through the city.
Okay.
Like really being known as a prodigy. I've been in the school choirs and going to competitions. And I'd already been singing in clubs, bars with adults and stuff like that. So I was well prepared. When I ran into Gerald Levert, the first time I met Gerald Levert was through Eric Nolan Grant, who was one of the OJs, the younger guy that's in the OJs. Tell me that he knew Gerald and them. And he took me up to their house. They had a mansion here in Cleveland in Shaker Heights. At the time that I went up there, Levert had a hit already with Casanova was hot. So, you know, we pull up in the driveway, and then there's a little side house next to the mansion, and I heard the band in there playing, and looked in the door, and there he was, Gerald Levert, Mark Gordon, and Sean Levert. And I'm like, wow. Like, and at that time, the Rude Boys were already together. We were the Rude Boys, but we was doing just like local gigs and regional gigs, you know. And I was like, man, we be singing their songs, because we sung Casanova, we sung My Forever Love from their first album. And so I'm like, damn, this is the real deal. And so, you know, I just was like a kid, dude. I looked in there, they was doing their dance steps and stuff, and just met them. So after rehearsal, Gerald came out and Eric was like, what's up, man? This is my little brother, Joe. And I cracked a couple of jokes on him. He's like, man, like, you know, tripping. And so, you know, that was my first time meeting him. My second time is when I met him and he heard me sing. I got Buddy, who was in the group with me, to like going down to this place called The Reason Why, man, you should come and sing on Thursdays. I said, a lady named Evelyn Wright, Skip Gibson was her band leader. They would allow me to come up and sing. And this place was like my first, not my first experience singing with some older adults, but in a presence of another crowd. It was like an upscale crowd, because one of the Cleveland Browns, Ron Bolton, owned it along with his wife named Kuja. And so, you know, it was like other people getting up singing with her. That was amazing, like for real. And so this particular night, me and Buddy was there, timing, divine timing. You know, we were singing a song called Everything Must Change. And I seen Gerald on the steps, like down the steps, with a damaged or used jean outfit with some red snakeskin boots. I'm like, you got. So I was like, hey, y'all, we got Gerald Levert from Levert in the house. I said, Gerald, why don't you come up and sing with us? I seen it as an opportunity, but I wasn't even thinking like, you know, like that. I was just like, it just came out. Yeah. You know, so, and he looked like, man, all right, came up. And man, we had a very, very explosive performance together. And so I'm glad that Gerald allowed me to put him on the spot. It was an amazing. So afterwards, he was just like, man, dude, I know those guys in Cleveland that can sing like y'all, young dudes. And I was like, you know, yeah, you know, we doing, and he's like, man, meet me tomorrow. You know, I want to hear some more of y'all. I want to work with y'all. And so we went the next day. That night, I could not sleep, dude. And then the next day came, I'm calling Buddy like, come on, man, we got to go up there. So we went up to that same house, because I knew exactly where it was. And we came in and rung the bell. And down came Andy Gibson, who we would learn was the president of Treble Productions, which we would be signed to. And we went up these stairs and I hit the corner. When I hit the corner, there he was, Eddie Levert. So this is a whole nother level, bro. So Eddie Levert. I remember
Big dog.
Big dog. So, I was like, I used to listen to their song Brandy over and over again. And I was always trying to figure out if it was a dog or who it was, because it was like everybody, that was a big question. And so anyway, I'm instantly nervous. My mouth is dry at this point. And so Gerald was like, Dad, Pops, he was excited. He's like, man, Pops, these are the guys I told you about. Like that, because I guess his father was over there waiting. So he was like, all right, sing. So we sung, I sucked. I did not do a good job in my opinion. But then Buddy sang, he threw down, and then he was like, Pops, what you think? He's like, they all right. He's like, Pops, whatever. I'm gonna work with these dudes. So, and that was the rest was history. And then what was crazy though, at the same time, the phone had rung, and it was Steve Russell from Troop. He was like, thanks, Gerald. We just got our first #1 song. Thank you. It was Mamacita.
Yeah.
And Eddie was there too. Eddie and Gerald wrote the song along with Mark Gordon. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the right place, dude. These dudes got a #1 hit song with these guys.
Yeah.
Knew, man, that just everything was unfolding, like for real, like in real time. Like, this is real. And so we went on to work on the album or whatever. But to be honest, at that time I was in the streets. So, I was hustling, selling drugs or whatever. And I caught a case like right when the album was almost done. And I caught a case before then, but I had never said anything. You know what I'm saying? And Gerald pulled me in the studio one day. He's like, man, I need to talk to you, right? I'm like, what? He's like, man, we're in the street. I'm like, we're in the street. You don't even know nothing about the streets, dude. He's like, yeah, man, you got a case, a drug case. And I was like, just put my head down, like, yeah, man. He's like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, he was just, dude, I love you, man. I got your back. You should have told me. He said, well, let's just see how I go. And so I end up getting charged, and I had to go to prison for 3 to 5 years. But somehow, higher power, along and Gerald and the pastor at church worked some things out while I was in there, and they gave me an early release after like 6 months. What was called super shock probation back then. And so I was sentenced and I was put on probation. But by that time, the album was done. By the time I got out, I was getting permission from my probation officer to go to New York to do our photo shoot. And so things worked out. Man. And to be honest, man, the fellas was trying to get him all that time I was going. They was trying to get him to leave me behind, bro.
That's what happened. That happens to most groups. I'm being real with you. Like, God was looking out because
Gerald told me when I came on. He's like, man, they wanted to go without you. He said, I wasn't going for that. You the man. Like, you that guy. And so they was kind of salty because it took too long. It was holding everybody back, but look what happened. What if we did come forward, it wouldn't have been results.
Timing worked out.
We go
perfect.
through the interview, you're gonna see that. Like, it would have been the same thing, So it was all, the higher power, the creators within what happened.
Yeah. So speaking on Eddie, Sean, Mark, you, Rube, what was the music scene in Cleveland during that time?
The music scene was quite amazing, man. There was a lot of groups out, a lot of singers, like church, a lot of talent shows. It was much different than now. Like, I don't think that the youth and kids and young adults have the opportunities that it used to be. I mean, it started off with gong shows, which where you would go, people would perform, finish, you get a point, you get points by 3 judges and all that. So after my talent show days as like a kid and a teenager, that was my next step, getting into the bars to do the gong shows. And so from the gong shows went to sitting in with the band at a nightclub playing. And that was how I met Gerald. But the scene was just really great on the gospel music scene and just with rap and pop dancing and all that, popping, ticking, and you know, break dancing and all that stuff. It was just like really huge, but it was going into, at this point, it was going into another era, which was the 90s. So we happened to come out in the 90s, but we had a lot of dudes in our city jealous, man. They was salty, like, why Gerald didn't find us? Why they picked them? You know, but on the real, we was the coldest.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah.
You know?
And
me and Buddy as a tandem, you know, where he was with.
But you couldn't mask that, the singing though, right? Like y'all had to sing. That's the era of people having to sing. You can't play around.
Real talk, because a lot has happened since our last interview, right? You watched Versus, right?
We got it. Actually, all right. So
I already know y'all gonna talk about you. Gonna ask
you know what? Go ahead.
We jumping
Jump to it.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
And Joe, you don't hold back. I want the truth and nothing but the truth. So obviously you heard about Versus. When I hear the Versus thing, the first thing that comes to mind is Omarion is under a lot of fire right now because he doesn't sound live the same way he sounds on the record. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to ask you, because you've actually been one of the producers who've been fortunate enough to work with B2K during that era. So I want to ask you vocally, what were those sessions like?
Well, when I worked with Omarion and the B2K, he was going through a voice change. Mm-hmm. His voice was changing. Okay. So construct the track to basically where his voice was. He was cool. He could sing. He could hold a note. Mm-hmm. And that's the credit I give him. But Omarion was more of a dancer and a actor. Performer. You know, performer, entertainer, and an actor. Mm-hmm. That's what he did commercials for McDonald's, and he was really known for his acting.
Pops, gotta have my pops.
Yep.
all that. So he was, and he had a great personality for it. Yeah. You know, a young man, teenager his age. And so I do remember in the sessions, he was having a hard time, but Marcus Houston was there because he was part of that camp to help him through, you know what I'm saying, get through it. You know, and not that Marcus Houston was really a great singer. He was a decent singer too, but he was experienced by being in what's the little group?
Immature IMX.
Yeah, Immature IMX. So that was a great thing. He was there to make him more comfortable. So the song that I did on him was Fantasy. Yep. And it was just like, it wasn't a lot for him to do, you know, but you know, he struggled a little bit only because his voice was changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you think about it, I know back in mid 90s or whatever, and before that, there was not releases like back to back how it is now. Mm-hmm. Like you could have somebody could put out an album, 2 albums in a year, or at least once a year. When I remember back in those days, it would be like maybe a 2 to 3 year gap between albums. Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, like that time of maturing your voice, if you'd have put an album out with that's puberty voice, take you 2 to 3 years off. When you come back, now you're coming back as you have your voice, so to say, kind of like how Usher did when he brought out his first album. I think it was 14, 15, but when he came back out, it was 3-4 years later with My Way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and actually think that he sung better before his voice changed. See, I remember when my voice changed, and it was like hard to adjust because my voice was high as hell, like Michael Jackson. I was singing Little Boy Michael Jackson songs. Natural. It was natural.
Oh, wow.
And then when my voice changed, it started being more raspy.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's just how it was. So, you know, having a voice change is hard. I remember when Usher's voice was changing, I was working on some stuff with Brian Morgan Alexander, and a song called Crazy that was on Usher's album, his first album. Mm-hmm. And it was like going through a vocal change at that time too, you know. So it was, you know, I experienced that also with Usher when he was younger. So it's hard when your voice changes, but within the changing of your voice, you should still find your voice and hone it. And so I believe that Omarion and other guys, you know, they once their voice change, they adjust to it. But then as you become an artist and you keep going, a lot of singers don't practice.
Yeah.
Don't practice. And they're not, every singer is just not a live singer. And some would never be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of them are just studio gangsters, period. So that on the verses, that's what you experience. So no, we ain't gonna even focus on Omarion. We're gonna go to the pre-show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he, who I just did a show with the week before, and dude live was good.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I was shocked. I think it was a lot of pressure there. The boy performed his ass off and sounded good because Bobby Valentino can sing.
Yeah.
Don't forget they're under the influence during this too. So that I think that
I don't even drink or do nothing
Yeah.
before. I don't even play that. That's like a basketball player having a couple shots before he go on the court.
it just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Before he go on the court or some shit like that. That shit is stupid, bro.
Yeah.
So I was really, really upset about that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we professionals. I'm looking from the sideline like, yo, this ain't how we get down. I mean, even one of my mentors, Keith, did it. You know what I'm saying?
By the time he got to the 15th song,
he was singing to the. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, we watch.
Right. Yeah, I watch them all because this is what I do. I'm a student of the game at all times.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't think that singers should sing up under the influence. So Bobby Valentino is much better. I will vouch for him. Of course, we'll shoot back up. Mario was splendid.
Yeah.
Sammy can sing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? He's nice. Ray J. I never thought that he was even a great singer or a good singer.
Yeah.
He had a song with One Wish that was just a catchy song, but you listen to the song, you know, he did a pretty good job in the studio, but it was too high for him. Like,
I never saw Ray J as a vocalist. It was more so he had a couple. I just never been a fan like that. There was a song that he had back in the day off the Set It Off soundtrack, Let It Go. But even then, when you look at the vocal credits, it's the same thing that I think a lot of people are condemning Omarion now, that, you know, Steve is on those records to where Let It Go, Ray J sounds great on it, but it's 8 other vocalists that are credited on that record. So I just never saw him as a vocalist.
Right. And a lot of these guys are, damn, what's this doing? A lot of these guys, man, a lot of these guys, they just like I said, they're great in the studio, but live is where is that? You got to prove it. That's like practicing in the gym and be hitting all your jumpers, but then when you get in the game, you can't hit shit.
Yeah.
You know. But kudos to all those guys, man, because they all deserve where they are. I mean, they've done something to get to where they are. So I'm not going to discredit them that much. I think they shouldn't have been drinking. I think that was
I think you're making sense, because I mean, from a fan perspective, I'm not in the industry, but I do care, especially when it comes to R&B, which you know, is a genre that I think needs all the support from some of the old heads, to where I don't know if that was the best presentation of R&B that night. So you making perfect sense.
Well, the good thing about the that I thought about from that verses is that it makes us now go back, not us, but the generation who didn't come up with you guys and, you know, the Leverts and everything, but it makes you guys look that much more better.
Yeah.
Their mess up made y'all look better.
Singing, it wasn't no auto-tune or nothing like that.
No auto-tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully Usher came back with the Tiny Desk show, did that, and he showed you how to be not just a good singer, but a performer, and his personality just jumped out. And then he had the 2 hottest young singers, I think, in the business, Eric Bellinger and Beto. Yeah, man, them boys pound, some of the best that you got to offer, songwriters and singers. So he did that. I really feel like he did that strategically to bring them on there, even though that they didn't get a lot of shine, but they did show what they could do.
They got enough shine to where I think when they pop, people are going to go back to that to say, oh, that's where I remembered him from. But not so fast, Joe. You do this sometimes, and I want to call you out on it because you drop these jewels or you drop these pieces of your resume, right? And it's like you gloss over it like it's nothing serious. But you mentioned being in the studio with the B2Ks, being in the studio with the crazies, with the ushers. I didn't know that. So the one thing I'm gonna stroke your ego a little bit. People don't know that Casino Joe Little the third, he's pretty skilled when it comes to the pen and the production.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to look at the first album when a lot of people like to point the Written All Over Your Face, and I get it. I love the record. It's a big record. Yeah. But you also got the reason that people were hating on you in Cleveland, y'all had that Gerald Levert co-sign. I'm saying that second single, which is Are You Lonely For Me, the degree of difficulty is higher on that. And I want to highlight the person who wrote, like one of the writers on the song, which is Joe. So and by the way, it goes number one on R&B Billboard, by the way. What does that do for your ego?
At that time, for me to get my first number one hit on the song I wrote on my first album, it was the second hit, even though I ain't write the first one, but the follow-up, it was amazing, man, because I wrote that song years ago, like younger. And myself, Tony Nicholas, and a guy named Mike Ferg, we got together. I'm sorry, hold on. We got together and we wrote the song. And I never thought that it had number one potential, to be honest.
Lo and behold.
But when they released it, I was happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, single. When it went number one, I'm just like, like every time I would like literally pinch myself. Like after written, I'm pinch myself. Are you lonely? Pinch myself. Like this is real. Like, and we balling out. We own. And so it was a great experience, man. And it really propelled me to keep on writing. And it ended up, because as a kid, I told you I was writing songs. So, I was ready, I was ready. My writing now is not as good as it used to be. I think I'm kind of more so rusty in the times of the change, changing times, but I'm still, I collaborate with a lot of people, but I do most of my own songwriting with help from others. I know who my go-to people are. One is my best friend, Mark Jenkins, who has our Brother to Brother International with me. And then one of my young guys, Charles Reed, who I'm gonna get y'all an interview with. He's amazing. Get him out there and get him going. But we got actually a single coming out August 12th called "It's My Party," and is a up-tempo club song with rap on it, and it's dope. It's fire. Mm-hmm. Y'all be one of the first ones I'm gonna get it to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let us know. We gonna push it out there as well.
My favorite guys. Y'all my favorite interviewers, man.
Hey,
That's right.
Guys, I love your personality. So
I love that endorsement.
I know, right?
That's real. That's why I'm back.
Yeah, I know, right? So with Written All Over Your Face, the magnitude of it, right? Just you can't. There's no playlist I have that doesn't have Written All Over Your Face on, especially if I'm talking about the late 80s, early 90s, that whole scene. How did it feel to know that y'all had a song to hit like that? Just just the magnitude of that song. So how did y'all feel to have a song that big?
It's amazing, man. Words can't describe it. I can't describe it at all, but it's just a feeling of like you had your first child or something that you expecting her. It's like my first baby, even though I had kids already, but it was like just another feeling, man, to get a hit record for what you do. It's like winning a championship, bro. Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all ever have been in something where you won something and you came first place, but yeah, that feeling. But for the whole world to see is amazing, man. And for all the work that I put in, what I'm saying, as a kid, not really going outside playing, and, it's like, shoot, I worked hard early, as a kid, and then as an adult, I get to play.
And
Do it.
some of that is number one. I think people are kind of dismissing how difficult it is to have a number one record on Billboard. This is Hot 100. A lot of people they feel blessed enough just to have a song within that first 100. A lot of promotion goes into that. Back in the day, when the record labels wanted to get you right, they put you through the ringer. That meant putting you through the Soul Trains, the Apollos, and the Arsenio Hall shows. And I know you guys have been fortunate enough to perform on each. What was that experience like? Like, was it nerve-wracking? Were you guys comfortable? What?
Soul Train and our first time on the Apollo, I was nervous too. And I'm not even a nervous guy. You know what I'm saying? Soul Train, I'm nervous, not even singing for real. We lip singing.
Yeah.
But just to see the great Don Cornelius, man, and it's a legacy. Like, I was on Soul Train. Yeah. It's classic, The Apollo. I was on Apollo twice. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. You want to make it. When you in the trenches and you're trying to come up as a kid or a teenager, these are the places that you want to sing at because you done made it. The Arsenio Hall show twice. Mm-hmm. Wow. Amazing. So these places is to be on these shows is you the part of the elite, is the alumni,
If you had to if you can only be on one of those three, what would have been the one that would have probably been the best for your career to take off?
All three. You need all.
You need all. Yeah. Okay.
You gotta. It's a combination. It's combo punches.
Gotcha.
Combinations, man. You have to because there's exposure. You're covering the gambit of people, the more wide. So I think you need all three at that time. To get to where you want to go, just as a Black artist or R&B.
They say
it's very necessary. If you don't go on there, nobody gonna know you. And the BET, your video to be on BET, and to go on the Donnie Simpson show, and to be going on the video LP, you need all that.
Yeah.
They say going on Arsenio Hall was the difference in going gold or not back in the day sometimes. So yeah.
Or black.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So with let me ask you this. At what point did you and the fellas realize that y'all really made it? Like, we're here.
Written all over your face. When it went for one, we knew it. We had a single out actually before that, which I couldn't stand. It sucked to me. Oh, come on, let's do this. That was G's idea, Gerald. He was like, it's a world peace song, and this, and I'm like, And in that video though was Flex. He was in the video, and Big Les. Okay. They were. And then a couple girls, Carolyn and forget the other girl name, but they went on to be dancing to Michael Jackson. You remember? And so there were some young stars on that video with. So I'm thankful to even have a relationship with Flex and Big Les, and it was a great thing for us to do that song. But after that song, when that song came out, it went like maybe 60 or 50 or something on the charts. And so to me, that wasn't what it was. That wasn't what the assignment entailed. I'm a winner, and I wanted to be number one, bro. Mm-hmm. Here, I did it as a kid, as a teenager. So of course, I wanted to be number one. So that wasn't gonna fly with me. So I started being kind of worried, and the label was kind of like, oh man, well. And then we struggled for them to put out "Written All Over Your Face" as the second single. They didn't believe in the song, bro. Imagine that. They didn't believe in the song. And so Sylvia had to convince her. But loved Gerald, so she went along with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kudos to y'all for speaking up because we needed that. And
yeah.
One thing I like about y'all camp is y'all seem very, I guess, for lack of a better synonym, hands-on. And what I mean by that, if you look at the track list on the first album, y'all played it close to the vest, and a lot of those records are written by somebody from the group or somebody from Levert or somebody attached to, all of the above. So is there I did notice that you guys didn't work with outside producers a lot. So is there a producer from that time frame that you guys wished you got the chance to work with?
Come on, man. It's a whole list. Babyface, Jam and Lewis, Teddy Riley, just to name the top three.
Top three.
That's it. I mean, they were where is that? You get them, you got to hit automatically, basically, or you up in. So those were the three guys, the three sets, Babyface, LA, and Daryl Simmons. And then you want to definitely do Teddy Riley, his New Jack Swing era.
Yeah.
So creator of that, you know what I'm saying? And you definitely want Jam and Lewis. They just come from Prince camp. They blew Janet Jackson up, Alex O'Neal, like quite a few people. SLS band. So yeah, you know, you got those are the big three.
You see
it. And you know,
where you get
remember that? That's where you got the shirt, man.
Oh, I found it online. I think Bill has a one in black and white or a hat or something.
That's dope. I like that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we got you, man. We gonna send you one.
I need one.
I got you. We gonna send you one.
Yeah, because Thursday my birthday, bro. I'll be 54. So
hey,
we got you.
We're trying to surprise you, but you already know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. So we got you.
Overnight you, boy.
So you know, I asked you this last time. You got a door. You only could go through one of those doors. You got Babyface. You got L.A. Reid and
Daryl
L.A. Reid and Babyface.
And Daryl.
You got Jimmy Jam. Yeah, Simmons. You got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and you got Teddy Riley. You can only go in one door to get a hit. Which door are you going in?
Come on, man. Babyface and them.
Wait, no.
Wait. Because back then it was automatic, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to lose with them. You're going to go number one. Jam and Lewis, I don't think that you have a guaranteed number one. Teddy Riley, I don't think you have a guaranteed number one. It really only worked for him and his crew, his groups. But Babyface and LA and Daryl Simmons is the go-to guys of that era where you automatic. You got, I mean, even the radio people, if they see that that's a song from them, they're going to be on it, period. Even the fans knew who writers was back then. Fans knew. So automatic.
You read the back of an album and it's telling you why I keep seeing this name Kenneth Edmonds and I keep seeing Daryl Simmons and we knew. I
was hit with them from the deal.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm younger, but I know like you
have you went back. Have you went back to listen to that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but at the time I'm a kindergartner, but I'm reading the back of the tape and I'm reading the back of the lyric sheet, and it's the same names popping up over and over. So you develop a rapport with the audience, knowing the producers.
Right. And so with that being said, them dudes had hits already from the group. And see, that group came at a time where it wasn't R&B. That was a pop era of the 80s. Yeah. You didn't have R&B groups that, like, it wasn't no R&B culture in the 80s.
Yeah.
So the 90s, pound for pound, is the second best era of music for Blacks other than the 70s soul. 70s soul is ridiculous. It can never be matched. You know, that's where we come from. We babies from that and from the gospel era. 90 artists are a combination of 70s soul and gospel church. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, that's where we were birthed from, the gospel era back then in the 70s. We the babies of that.
Who just quick, who did any gospel, who is some of your favorite gospel artists coming up?
Well, not coming up. I have to start with the legends first. A very good friend of mine who I love dearly, and my aunt, John P. Key, of course. A guy named, I learned a lot from a guy named James Moore. Look him up. Beast.
Hold on. You don't got to tell me. We talked to
Men at Large.
It was Men at Large, and Champ said it, and and sorry not to cut you off about that, but growing up, he's my favorite male gospel artist.
Thick, man. He was mine too, and then was John P. Key, and then I did like Marvin Winans, the Winans, Clark sisters for sure, pound for pound, hands down. So those were my musical influences as far as. But I listened to all gospel, like the mass choir era. There's a lot of good stuff in that gospel back then. Thomas Swift, a lot of people. Daryl Coley, Beastie.
Hey, He'll give somebody some problems.
You're a bad boy, man. You
He'll
be
get,
on it.
hey, they're
You got look Barry. You got to help him up.
I help him up. I help him out.
No, Bill. When it come to jazz or when it come to gospel, Bill know it all. Like, yeah.
He will give somebody some problems.
Yeah,
man, sick, man. Six with. I mean, you hardly can do a stuff, but current gospel definitely Kimberell, who's like I think that she's like the basis of a lot of singers now. You know her. Kirk Franklin. I like him because he is a bad boy. He could just produce. He's not a singer, but just his music has changed gospel a lot, man. He's
when you listen to his samples, obviously he mixing pop with gospel. I got a question for you only because you brought up Kirk Franklin. So I know a lot of people, he got a lot of backlash and you're bringing up a lot of gospel history, right? So obviously there's a tradition when it comes to gospel sound. And I know when he just won the BET Awards, he basically tried to pass the baton to Maverick City. And a lot of people aren't really considering that sound like it doesn't, like a lot of people are saying it doesn't sound gospel. So, I mean, are you familiar with Maverick City and that whole? Yeah. So in your opinion, is that something that's considered gospel or probably it needs to have its own category?
I mean, I just believe it's like his own category, but it's gospel. The word gospel means good news. I'm saying, so just spreading, God's word. You know what I'm saying? So if he's talking about that, then it's gospel.
Yeah. I think the commotion is I'm indifferent, but I think the commotion is they want it in the category of Christian contemporary.
Right.
Yeah, Christian.
It's all the same to me.
Yeah.
Contemporary Christian is just smoother, not hard gospel chords.
Yeah.
But that's some church people stuff. They be tripping.
Yeah.
You should have freedom of expression, man. As long as if that's what you're doing and your message is getting across, however you can get it across. Is what it. I mean, Kirk Franklin has drawn a lot of young people to
did.
So I mean, I don't be caring about that stuff, man. People be trying to control something that they can't control. You can't control nobody's talent. You shouldn't have to, whatever. I wish all music could just be music for real and not cap. It's like races. Like you're this race, you're this race, you're that race. There's a division when all of it is just music. But for the sake of adding, you got acid rock, you got pop music. What is pop music? So if you got a pop sound, if it's slick and there's not no edgy gospel or B, it's considered pop. So if you look at Mars, he popped, but then they did Leave the Door Open and bring it back to 70s soul.
Yeah.
And he bring back a sound and people like, oh, that's the shit. But if it was like an older artist, they ain't gonna mess with it.
Yeah. Even Drippin' and Finesse, that's New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That whole album that he did was a New Jack Swing album.
It's New Jack.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's about the
exactly.
Yeah. I can't leave. I can't transition out of this without giving a shout out to me. He's the godfather, James Cleveland. He's the godfather of all of it.
Yeah, he was good at talking.
You don't think he was a good producer?
Yeah, for the mass choir era, he was.
Yeah.
But he was a good setup guy, man, for the choir to just go in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, you're gonna make me go back and listen to him, man.
Go back and listen to that.
He's part of my studies, but if you go to James Cleveland when he was young, he was cold, bro. He was cold. By the time you probably heard him, like when he was older, he just was talking and leading, but he had that thing that could make you fill you up, man. So that's the era of growing up. So you got to give him you got to give him credit.
Him and Andre Crouch, like
Andre Crouch, yes. You know what I'm saying? Happy Day, one of the biggest songs ever.
Yeah. Them dudes are serious.
And propelled the Clark sisters with You Brought the Sunshine. So I'm part of that. That's what made gospel become a household name. The artists alone, Andre Crouch and not Andre Crouch, Walter Hawkins. Look at him.
But that fit. Walter Tremaine. What? The Love Alive.
Walter Hawkins. I'm sorry. I gave Andre Crouch that credit. Andre Crouch, him and his sister Sandra Crouch, they was nice. They was cool.
Oh yeah.
It was cool. Yeah.
But that Hawkins, we had because my dad, he's listening to all that, but that whole Love Alive series.
Yes.
I had all
got them
had all of them.
But they at my parents' house, dude.
So I got a question. So obviously when you listen to R&B, a lot of you guys' roots is tied to gospel, right? So it's like, and you just saying it now, like basically these are all the folks that you studied under. So it's one particular R&B song that I liked when I was a second grader. It sound mad gospel, and you were part of it. So I want to take you back a little bit. It was basically a song came out when I was in the second grade. It came out with a coalition of like all these Black musicians that we knew from, like, you smiling because you know where I'm going. And people were dubbing it like it was they said this is like the 90s version of We Are the World. And it's Black Men United for their first and only collab, which was every R&B act at that time, every solo act, every R&B guy. And it's what was the experience like participating in that song? You Will Know. That was on what, Jason's Lyrics? Yeah, Jason's Lyrics soundtrack.
Amazing, bro. Great. I'm proud to be a part of that. I mean, it's history.
Yeah.
And we got to perform it on the American Music Awards.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's an exposure.
And that's starting it, like every year it goes it gets revitalized and goes viral again. Like a lot of people started sending me the clip of you guys on the American Music Awards. Mm-hmm. I saw it when it was live, but I was like, y'all don't know about this mad old. Like, why don't a lot of people know about that song, number one? But then it was just so many superstars and you got to be a part of that.
Yes, sir. Amazing. Words can't describe that. Also, a bunch of us, we got together, did it. It was an amazing thing. We made history. I mean, you're talking about Usher, you're talking about R. Kelly, you're talking about a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And we all respect each other. So, and D'Angelo was just a young guy who wrote it.
Yeah.
It was on the piano playing it. He wasn't even D'Angelo yet. He didn't come years later.
Yeah.
And so, that was his first break,
That's crazy.
But it was a Grammy night. My friend, he produced it, was over it, you know what I'm saying? So it was great. All the who's who. And it shows you the caliber of music back then. All them groups. Got a lot of hit makers up there.
All the singers. And none of them was studio gangsters. They was gangsters on the stage.
No, there's a few gangsters on there.
My dog.
He always, Joe be honest. Like I said,
my dog.
They deserve to be there.
Yeah,
I'm never just kind of another man, but it was some elites on there, man. There was some beast on it.
Yeah.
I didn't even sing on the leads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess y'all drowned out most of because history shows me I'm only paying attention to the ones that I knew could hold it down. And I'm kind of disregarding some of those studio gangsters you talking about.
But they not bad studio gangsters. Like they
had records. Yeah, I know exactly who you talking about.
Yeah, a lot of these guys that's in these groups, man, that don't sing up front like the lead singer can sing, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of guys you haven't got a chance to sing. It's like with Jagged Edge right now. All them guys can sing. Mm-hmm. All of them can sing. Silk, all of them can sing.
112. Oh yeah, they may not make the album.
He can sing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that kind of still goes back to kind of what we were saying earlier. That era, y'all had to sing. It wasn't no just we're gonna do some flips and dance moves and no. So that brings me this.
You got to be able to do both. You got to be able to do. New Edition have to set the tone. Mm-hmm. They're the leaders of all of us. Mm-hmm. They're the leaders. You figure before the new Edition, who do we have? The Jackson. Right. Yeah. You didn't know it, so But New Edition is the zenith of what an R&B group is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Even though they're not the greatest singers, but they are the format, and
The
they are
blueprint.
who they are. They tops.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
what's that?
So
They make the most money, but they're 80s group,
80s group.
early 80s.
Early
Really
80s.
born yet,
Yep.
Barry. Barry was born.
I wasn't here, but that's my group.
Barry,
I
what
know-
year was you born?
I was born 86. I'm a baby.
Year I graduated from high school.
Yeah. y'all got a huge lead over me.
Hey man, but you know what?
Oh, but you cold too. You a
Yeah.
student.
He's a student of the game.
Yeah, Bill be
no.
knowing. If I don't know, like my goal is always I want to be able to and that's why me and Bill connect. We in a frat, but me and him typically know the most about music. And if I don't know it, I'm gonna find out. Like y'all mentioned some names today. I done jotted it down. That's why you keep seeing me lean over to my computer.
Yeah.
And just give me 3 days or so, and I'm gonna be on it.
Deserve.
So I asked this question a little earlier a couple of days ago. I'm gonna give it to you too. Levert, OJs, Rude Boys,
Men at large.
Men at Large. Man, listen.
I wrote so long. So
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely
We talked to them. And your name came up a lot, so they got respect.
definitely.
I taught Dave how to sing practically almost.
Oh wow. All right.
He was all right, but dude's a freaking beast now. It's crazy.
Mm.
But so he learned it coming up. But go ahead with your question.
I get y'all in a super group, right? And I'm gonna call y'all the Cleveland Singers. Put y'all in a talent show. Not a talent show. We're gonna do a singing contest with other groups, like the New York singing group, LA singing group. How y'all do? Who coming out with that first place?
Us.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Buddy Hank.
Yeah,
Buddy Hank. You got me. You got Gerald. You got Jason. You got Dave. Dude. You got Eddie Levert and Walt Williams.
I'm trying to think of a city that would probably give y'all a run for y'all money, but
It would have to. You have to say somebody like a New York that I can think of.
Well, Detroit cheats.
What's
a lot of
Detroit only.
They be cheating because a lot of them folks not from Michigan.
No, we talking about born and raised. We talking about born.
See, that's why I'm like, y'all got some.
Nobody, bro.
Yeah.
We got somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
You was unmatched, in my opinion. And I'm not just. If it was somebody that I feel I would, but it's never been a camp like us, dude.
Yeah.
No.
I don't. Do y'all think y'all get? Does Cleveland get the respect they deserve when it comes to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I say y'all in Washington D.C. get slept on.
Who's in D.C.?
You got Johnny Gill. You got Donny Hathaway. You got
To the Extreme.
Yeah, To the Extreme. You got Shy.
No,
You,
not enough.
yeah.
That's heavy. I mean, that's not heavy artillery though. The Donny Hathaway. I mean,
yeah. It start getting light after it's that.
To the Extreme. Them my boys. They good.
Yeah,
Johnny Gill. No, they got Johnny Gill, Donnie.
Yeah.
You know.
But then when you look at, so I always look at matches.
But they're not from the same camp. This Trouble Productions, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But I look at matchups, right? So you throw Johnny out there, okay, we'll throw Gerald out there. Just like we playing one-on-one. Y'all throw him out, okay, we got somebody for that.
That'll be a good match.
Now who y'all got for
Donnie?
So with Donnie, now we'll throw out
Eddie against him.
I was gonna say
Eddie out there.
Yeah.
Good match.
Yeah.
Because Eddie can take it to the top, bro.
Yeah.
And if we had to hear Donnie Hathaway sitting down, bro, he ain't getting up doing no spins and dropping on his knees. He's gonna be at the piano playing and finessing. He's a finesse singer. So I think Donnie loses. His tone can't be messed with, but he's gonna lose to Eddie Levert. Live head to head like a versus. He ain't gonna win.
So let me ask this.
You keep man, we had smash. Come on now.
Yeah.
We talking about singing, guys. Singing.
Yeah. I'm not.
You have to go to Detroit though. That's where the matchups. I mean, because Stevie, we ain't got nobody for him.
I don't know if the rest of Motown is from Detroit like that though, because you can't throw in the Jacksons because that's Gary, Indiana. You can't see what I'm saying.
But it's a camp. It's a label like LaFace. Label, that's a camp. We were.
So we do okay. So if you do it as a
if you
camp,
do that,
we just all happen to be from Ohio. We just happen to be from Ohio, Cleveland.
Okay, so if we're doing camps, I would say the easiest, like your toughest match.
Now you give us some tough matchups.
Yeah.
If you say camp,
Atlanta with LaFace will come correct. And also I would say Motown and Detroit.
Who you gonna pull from LaFace to match with us?
Well, you got Usher, but it might get like, just give me a second.
Wait, ho. You said Usher?
Yeah, Usher and LaFace.
You can't put
lyric
voice. We talking about just voice.
I know. I'm trying to give him gunshots.
Now, I mean, because I consider Usher the king of R&B right now.
Yeah,
he took that title when R. Kelly, bro.
I agree.
I mean, which R. Kelly, and can I say his name? You got respect. Look, you got to give respect where it's due, bro.
Yeah,
and I just like.
So. All right, since you mentioned his name,
right there, like the greatest of all time. I gotta say, you ain't gonna like me for saying it, but you can't judge somebody because first thing I was on Clubhouse the other night and I got kicked out of a room because I told the people that he was the king of R&B. That women went crazy and they kicked me off the stage. They blocked me, and so with that being said, it's like his songs was about little girls. Like not all of them, but maybe. That's what he liked. I mean, the whole industry knew it. We knew kind of like where that shit was going with him. But, people just, what can you do? I can't control nobody else. So people got mad at me like, and you knew it? And you were around him? Like, I ain't got nothing to do with what that man do. It's like being on a basketball team with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But not even trying to bring up Kobe. Kobe, rest in peace. I love him. But he had, drama.
Mm-hmm.
People showed him respect. He's still one of the gods of basketball, dude, and went on to be one of the greatest. So you have to give people credit for their talent. It doesn't have nothing to do with their personal life. I mean, there's a lot of people I don't like personally, but them artists, their artwork.
In his heyday, and that's kind of like when he's coming up, born into the 90s, around the same time when he's starting to make a name for himself. All the groups that we're mentioning is like at their like hitting how because I remember what it was like when people were calling him the king of R&B, right? So I was there at the time, even though I was a youngin'. I remember from you being from an artist, like you're an artist, how much did an artist want a music sheet with his lyrics on it? Like how much of a commodity was that back then?
For R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Every fucking body, dude.
Yeah.
Just gotta be honest. I'm saddened by what has happened to him, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The person he is fucking depriving us with his actions. It's fuckery.
Yeah.
So, dude, so it hurts, but I'm more hurt for the people that he damaged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the little tear I'm shedding is for the women
and
the underage girls, the children. And then the second tear is that dude, you threw it all away.
But that's a lot of gift.
That's
a lot of gift.
Dude, you never 56, dude. He 25. Might pass away there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's saddening for the victims.
Yeah.
And saddening to lose something like that. He threw it away, the gift. He messed his privileges up, dude. You can't do that. The chickens will come home through roof. It's gonna come and get you. You can't do people like that. And so it's sad around the board, just like my mentor girl being gone, sadly. World is deprived early.
Yeah.
So that's what propels me to keep being great, trying to do.
Yeah.
Wheels fall off, man. Ain't no retirement from this shit, bro.
Keep going.
Yeah.
OJ about to retire now. Eddie just June 18th, Eddie turned 80. all these years in the game, rich, paid, and he chilled. He put in his work.
Yeah.
And we saw not too long ago the Isley Brothers and the Earth, Wind, and Fire put on one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest verses of all time.
I think that was the greatest versus performance, and I think it introduced a new audience to them too. They did a good job.
I think Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills was. I'm just laughing. I'm bullshit.
I'm about to say.
I make y'all laugh. Hey man, Barry was about to come through the screen.
I was like,
pound for pound. I was glad to see those guys on there because we needed to see that. The youngsters need to see what that was. So yeah.
All right. So
and a lot of people, they were complaining about Steve Harvey and how he was talking, but
from Cleveland, right?
From Cleveland.
Yeah.
From Cleveland. But for me, I stand behind him for that, because when you grow up listening to somebody and you got emotions, and he's tying things that I wrote down, the whole lyrics to the song, and gave it to this girl, and you can't you can't turn that off. And we're talking about Steve Harvey is a superstar. He's a celebrity. He's, people are looking at him in the same light, but he's looking at these guys. You can't turn that down. And to me, he was the perfect person to host that versus.
He was. It was good. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I didn't have no problem with him. Steve Harvey is a legend. You know what I'm saying? He was the perfect dude to do that. He the man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man.
He's also a Black leader. He's a leader for our people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people understand how valuable he is to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was great for him to match up with those guys.
Yeah,
I wish OJ's haven't really been on there.
We're gonna try to maybe we could get them on, but
OJ's, boy, people got problems. It probably be like OJ's and Temptations or something.
Hey, tell whisper that in Eddie's ear, like before the retirement or anything. He's not gonna do it.
Hey, go on Wednesdays. He do his IG live all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna check him out.
Go follow him on IG and ring the bell at the top, and you'll get the alert. But he is hilarious, man. He is funny. He be on there with his daughter and Gerald's son.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Wow. So I got one last thing before we close out.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned this last time. I gave you some names, and I told you to tell me what you thought about them. But
okay.
I want to just give you two names this time.
I don't remember none of the people.
It's cool. It's only gonna be two this time.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Last time.
I think I gave you three.
Yeah, give me three.
You want three? All right.
Why you kept? Nah, I came back on the interview. You gonna do me like that?
Oh my bad. I didn't want to waste all. I didn't want to take too much of your time.
William.
He calling you by your government.
Oh, I know Bill is Billy and William, but
yeah.
But no, what's funny? What's funny about that? Some of my people do call me that. They call me Billion. Like, people call me that.
Is it Dickie and Dick too?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All those names. You got many names.
Yeah. Richard. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you Alexander O'Neal. You brought him up a little earlier.
Unique. Very new tone, cold, man. I mean, I know I'm saying more than one word, but unique. His voice.
That's fine.
Voice is amazing. I love him. That the one album, the All True Man album, is like one of my classics. With She's Fake and Don't Leave because the party's over. Mm-hmm. Man, you're gonna make me go listen to it right after this. There's a moment in time, yes.
That's his opus. Yeah, like I think.
And I grew up to be able to work with him too.
Yeah.
And I did shows with Alexander, man. That's my boy. He had me laughing, drunk as fuck, drinking with dude. You can't hang with that dude, man.
No, okay. Luther.
You can't. If you hang out with him, man, he gonna drink you on the table. I like to have some shots, man. I'm like, nah, Alex, no more for me, buddy. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, he good. Good people.
Okay. All right, Luther Vandross.
Butter. Smooth as butter. Butter. Silky. Smooth. One of the greatest of all times. He's a GOAT.
And
A
his
goat.
runs.
A goat. Because there's many goats.
Many goats. His runs are crazy too, though.
I studied him, but I really didn't study him a lot because a lot of his the nuance of him and his cadences were like female mostly. It was like female style. So, but I did study him.
Okay. And his last one, I picked it up from the last time we talked. Dino.
One of my favorites. Coldest tone of all time, other than Donnie.
By the way, for the audience who don't know out there, we're talking about Dino from H-Town.
Tone.
Yeah.
Just tone. That's the word. Tone.
Mm.
And one of the greatest of all times. He's got the coldest tone of the 90s.
Crazy.
He's that Donnie of the 90s, bro. And he's got an album. I think I told y'all last time. He's got an album that he did before he passed, man. Go online. I guess y'all didn't do what I told you last time. Go online and find it. It's like about 16 songs, dude. And he's got a song called When I Die.
I heard that one. I heard that song.
And you hear how his range got up more. It's cold. He was able to be on his own and do what he wanted to do. You know, I think they kind of aimed him back then, you know. So Knocking the Boots, he took a song like that and just made it last night coming in on like that, boy.
Even when they did it's a thin line between love and hate.
Killed it.
When
the intro, yep. First, yeah.
The boy body songs, man.
Emotions.
I liked it because I think that's like that's that Southern sound that I needed to hear from even I mean Texas is the dirty South, but that's like the style that I feel like Florida was rocking heavy with that.
Hey, Texas got some amazing singers out of Texas.
Yeah.
That means it's the biggest state in the country. You know you have more coast.
They don't got nothing on Cleveland though.
No, I ain't gonna really say that. You gotta think it's babies there can sing, bro.
Yeah.
Babies
I mean you gave me some homework to do. Like you mentioned the charge, and I can't think of anything now, like a collective of a camp where they could sing. Like it's like, okay, I'm not talking about pop records against pop records. I'm talking about, okay, singing a cappella on the stage. Could they give you guys a run for their money? So yeah. So here's something I want to do. Number one, 2 things we owe you. Birthday coming up soon. We're gonna make sure you get a shirt in the mail. Me and Bill gonna connect with you after. Just make sure you give us that address. We're gonna try to get it there before your birthday. But in the meantime, I do think you guys weren't really dealt a fair handshake when it came from the record label promoting you guys. And I do think I'm glad your career, like from a writing perspective and producing perspective, you got just due. But I really think Rude Boys probably never got a fair handshake. But you are an interesting fella to follow. I would say you like this mecca. You're like the center of a mecca of like a lot of the R&B artists of the 90s. They tend to gravitate towards you. So for you guys in the audience, if you want to find out what some of your favorite R&B acts are up to, I want you to go follow Joe. They always on his page for some reason. So Joe, where could the people follow you at?
On Instagram at Joe Little Rude Boys Official.
There we go.
At
and then
Joe Little Rude Boys Official.
Cool.
And at The Real Rude Boys.
There we go. I'll make sure to put all that on the screen as well, but just make sure show them love. And then Bill, Joe already said we interviewing Charles Reed after this. So so that's
Big Bub. I gotta get you quite a few.
Hey, wait, not yet. We
still on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that after. But that's the thing that we like to do for the audience is we like to find out who they want to hear from, Bill. So y'all already kind of heard some of the folks we got in store for y'all, but Bill, how could they give us, their feedback on who they want to
Hey, y'all go to the comment section. Y'all know we call it my 2 cents. Leave your 2 cents. Who do y'all want us to potentially interview in the future? And also, if you have any questions for Joe and the Rude Boys, any kind of where they're touring at, or any question that we didn't ask, leave a comment in our comment section, and we'll make sure that Joe and his camp gets that gets that answer. If you just want to leave a nice comment, anything, just leave it. We'll make sure he gets it.
Or if you want to smoke and you from another city and he just called y'all out and said that Cleveland is doing it bigger and better,
get the smoke.
Go ahead, go ahead
and
make sure you add him and he gonna let you have it. So hey, outside of that, Bill, oh, go ahead.
Embrace the smoke.
He not lying. Hey, Bill, what
I'm gonna tell you the top 90s R&B group right now though, for real.
What's up?
Drew Hill.
So check this out. I love Jodeci. And we'll talk about this more offline, but I love Jodeci. But I tell Bill, wait,
favorite group of all time.
I know, but I'm telling Bill because I'm younger than y'all, my Jodeci is technically Drew Hill. Like I understand they recycled everything from Jodeci, but when I was introduced to that sound, it was like, wow.
Yeah, they nowhere near as dope as Jodeci though, bro.
Yeah, I know. No, I know that for a fact. But
they I mean, they are the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
From the and did they come out in the 90s? They came out like 96, 97.
They came out 90s.
Soul Food soundtrack.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Daryl Simmons.
They added the boys from.
Oh no, y'all shit. Y'all
they added the boys from Player too. So.
But that's what I'm saying. My boy Smoke Bigler, that's my friend.
Hey.
Cut records on Jazz, Teo, and Teo.
Teo, that's the one that was added, the new one that was added. We was trying to figure out his name.
I was actually jazz artist, so I worked with both of them. And Scola. I produced
Scola. No, it's Scola. It was Scola who came first.
Yeah, Ruth Scola.
Yeah.
Scola.
Hey, you know what? Jazz can sing. He reminds me of JoJo. Like they both have a good falsetto voice, but them boys literally can like just really, really, really sing.
Yeah, JoJo can't mess with Jazz, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jazz.
But Jazz is the one. He's the true. You know. Oh, Cisco nice, but they both cold.
Yeah.
But Jazz can go to another level, bro. He's
he's crazy. He's dope. He's dope for real.
Maybe I get y'all interview all 10 of them.
Hey, so this what we gonna Hey, guys. Hey, check this out. Information's on the screen. Make sure y'all
hey, shit about to cut off. Look at him.
Yeah, because we about to talk. Hey, so follow us on the screen, all that stuff on the screen. Hey, say peace out to the people.
Peace, y'all.
All right, peace, y'all.